Introduction. My name is Wendy. I am 34 years old. 3 months ago, my marriage ended. My husband did not love me. He loved his job and his money. Being married made me feel very small. When I left him, I made a strong promise to myself. I promised to remain alone for a time. I needed to find my own strength inside myself. I work as a house designer in a quiet town. I like my job because I fix old houses and make them new. Houses do not tell lies, which I like very much. Recently, I received a new assignment. I need to renovate a very large and broken mansion located on the hill outside of town. The owner is a man named Jacob. He is rich and has a bad reputation with women, which makes the job feel a little scary. 2. Meeting the owner. I arrived at the large, old mansion on the hill to start my work. The house looked very broken from the outside. I had my measuring tools with me. I knocked on the big front door. The owner, Jacob, opened it. He was tall and he had dark hair. I noticed his eyes right away. They looked sad. I thought he might be loud because of what people said about him, but he was quiet when he met me. He let me inside. I needed to begin measuring the rooms to plan the renovations. I took out my notebook and started to work on the walls. Jacob stood nearby and watched me. He did not talk much, but his eyes followed my hands as I moved the measuring tape. I tried to focus only on the numbers and the lines in my book, but it was hard. He spoke after a few minutes. His voice was deep when he said I was talented. I felt a little nervous. I told him I was only doing my job. I looked up quickly to answer him, and he was still staring at me. The air in the room started to feel different, warmer, maybe. I felt a strange, quick feeling in my stomach, like I was starting to fall. Even though I knew his bad reputation, I felt a nervous attraction to him right there in that big, dusty room. 3. The town talks. Weeks went by, and Jacob and I worked closely on the old mansion. I was inside the house almost every day. Soon, the people in the small town began to notice. They saw me going to the big house on the hill often. They saw me leaving late sometimes. Whispers started to grow like weeds in a garden. One afternoon, my friend Sarah called me on my phone. I answered it while I was checking some measurements in the main hall. Sarah sounded worried. She told me to be careful about Jacob. She said he had a reputation for being bad with women. She warned me that he often hurt people's feelings. Sarah reminded me that I was recently divorced and needed to be careful not to cause a big scandal. She said I should protect my respectable life. Her words made me feel cold inside. I knew she was right to be concerned. I was trying to be a strong, independent woman who did not need anyone. Jacob was known as a wild and rich man. The difference between my quiet, respectable world and his fast, unpredictable life was very big. I felt a growing tension inside me. But then I would look at Jacob. When we were alone, he was not like the stories the town told. One day, I was in the garden. I was thinking about my past marriage and feeling sad. I started to cry quietly. I did not expect Jacob to care. I expected him to leave me alone to finish my work. Instead, he came outside. He sat down on the grass right next to me. He did not try to stop my tears. He just stayed there. He started to talk about his own life, sharing that he did not like his money because it brought fake people around him. We sat in silence for a long time after that. This quiet time with him felt dangerous, but it also felt surprisingly good. For a sad day, I was working late at the mansion one evening. The sky outside was turning dark gray. I started to think about my life before the divorce. I remembered the quiet house and the feeling of being small in my marriage. These thoughts made me very sad. I walked outside to the garden area. I sat down on the cool grass and began to cry quietly. I was thinking about the promise I made to myself to stay alone and be strong. I expected Jacob to leave me alone. Usually, when I showed weakness, people moved away. But Jacob did not go inside. He came out onto the grass and sat down beside me. He did not try to tell me to stop crying or offer simple answers. He just sat there in silence. This quiet support felt very different from what I expected from him. We sat together for a long time. The rain started to fall lightly, a soft summer shower. Jacob finally spoke, but not about my tears. He told me a secret about his own life. He said he hated all his money. He explained that the wealth brought many fake people into his world. He felt just as lonely as I did sometimes. I looked at him and saw past the bad reputation the town gave him. In that moment, sitting on the wet grass, a strong feeling started between us. It was a dangerous feeling because he was the man Sarah warned me about. But it was also a good feeling because he understood my sadness without me saying everything. We were sharing a connection that was deep and emotional. I did not move away from him. The silence between us was not empty, it was full of understanding. 5, the big storm. One evening, I stayed late at the mansion. I was working on the plans for the main hall. Suddenly, the weather outside became very bad. A heavy summer storm started very fast. The rain began to hit the windows with great force. Then everything went dark. The lights in the large house stopped working. I stood still in the long hallway. I have always been afraid of the dark, and the sudden blackness made me freeze completely. I could not move my feet. I felt very small again, like I did when my marriage ended. I worried that Jacob had left the house. Then I felt a warm touch on my arm. It was Jacob. He had come back into the hall. He leaned close to my ear and spoke softly. "Do not be afraid," he whispered. His voice was very low. I could smell his nice scent, like wood and the wet air outside. We stood there together in the darkness. We were very close to each other. I could feel his body near mine. I looked up and saw his face in the faint light from the storm outside. My heart started to beat very fast. I knew I should leave and go home, but I did not want to move away from him. The feeling between us was strong and clear now. The physical attraction was impossible to ignore. 6, by the fire. The big storm did not stop. The roads outside the mansion were covered in water. It was impossible to drive home safely. Jacob told me I needed to stay the night. I felt a strong feeling of worry about what people would say. I was the woman who promised to be by herself. Staying at his large house was not a good idea for my reputation, but I agreed. I had no other choice. We moved to the library. There was a big stone fireplace there. We lit a fire, and the room became warm and cozy. The flames moved and made shadows on the walls. We sat near the fire. Jacob made us hot tea. We drank it slowly. The silence between us was different now. It was not tense, but comfortable. We began to talk deeply. We spoke about things we had not told anyone. I told him about my dreams for my future work, not just fixing old houses, but building new, strong ones. He told me his real fears. He said that being rich meant always being watched, and he longed for simple things like quiet evenings. I looked at his lips while he spoke. The fire made his eyes look bright. I forgot my promise to stay alone. I only saw him sitting next to me. He stopped talking and looked at me too. He reached out his hand slowly and moved some of my hair away from my face. His hand shook a little bit. Then he kissed me. It was a soft kiss at first, but it grew stronger. It was slow, and I felt a deep need inside me. I closed my eyes. I felt beautiful and wanted, maybe for the first time in many years. We kissed for a long time next to the warm fire. We stayed there until the fire became low. We did not go to the bedroom. We fell asleep together on the soft rug in the library, still holding hands. I felt safe, not alone at all. 7, running away. The morning light was bright when I opened my eyes. I saw my hand still holding Jacob's hand. A strong wave of panic came over me. The quiet happiness from the night before was gone. I looked around the big, expensive library. This was not my small, safe apartment. This was Jacob's world. I thought about the town. If anyone saw me leaving here, it would be a huge scandal. My promise to myself to find strength by being alone felt very important again. I remembered my divorce and the feeling of being small. I could not let that happen again. I was scared of needing him. I was scared of my heart getting hurt. I carefully pulled my hand away from his. He did not move in his sleep. I stood up slowly. I found my clothes on the floor and dressed quickly. I did not look back at the fireplace or the rug where we had slept. I needed to leave before he woke up and made me stay. I walked through the quiet house and out the front door. The air outside felt cool and clean. I did not look up at the big mansion on the hill. I walked fast down the long drive and back to the town. I felt like a runner escaping danger. When I reached my small apartment, I locked the door behind me. I leaned against it and took deep breaths. I felt sad, but also a little safe. I sat at my small table. I took out my phone. I knew what I had to do to stop this feeling. I wrote a short message to Jacob. I told him that the night was a mistake. I said I could not continue the work. I needed to be alone to protect my heart. I sent the message, and then I turned off my phone. I thought this running away was the only way to be strong. 8. The new choice. 2 days passed, and I stayed inside my small apartment. I did not answer my phone. I looked at the walls and felt very bad. I regretted sending that message to Jacob. I thought I was protecting myself, but now I just felt empty again. I kept thinking about the night by the fire and how safe I felt holding his hand. Then I heard a knock at my door. It was slow but firm. I did not want to look, but I had to know who it was. It was Jacob. He stood outside and he did not look angry. He looked tired, but his eyes were clear. He did not seem to care that my neighbors might see him there. "Wendy," he said quietly, "you chose to be alone because you were scared to lose yourself. But when you are with me, you are found, not lost." He did not shout or try to force me. He just offered his hand to me across the doorway. I looked at his hand, and then I looked back into my apartment. It was very quiet and felt cold. I remembered my promise to stay alone to find strength. But now I saw that being alone was not the same as being strong. Being strong meant being brave enough to choose happiness. I took a deep breath. I opened the door wider, letting the light from the hall come in. "Come in, Jacob," I told him. I knew this was a big change. I was not choosing the safe, empty path anymore. I was choosing him, and I was choosing to be brave.